Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready for the Red Arrows because I'm going to hand over now to Squadron Leader Mike Ling, Red 10!
Thank you very much, George. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm Squadron Leader Mike Ling and I'm Red 10, the ground supervisor with the Royal Air Force aerobatic team, the Red Arrows. I'm going to talk you through the display this afternoon and get your eyes and cameras pointing in the right direction so you get to enjoy the full spectacle. Just saying hello to Red 6's parents there. Hello there. Well, the jets are airborne from Bristol Airport. I can hear them on the radio. I'm just trying to check in with Red 1 to see if they're on time. And we'll see what display we get. We've got 3 types of display we can fly, depending on the weather, specifically the cloud base. If it's above 5,500 feet, Red 1 can lead a full display where you can fly looping maneuvers in a formation. If it's below that, they'll fly the rolling display, which is formation barrel rolls. And if it's lower than 2,500 feet, it will be our flat display, which is a series of bends in different formation shapes. He'll make that decision as he runs in and start the show, and I'll let you know which type of show he's going to be flying. Well, the Red Arrows are a military unit of around 100 personnel, all who volunteer to join the team. And while us pilots wear red suits, our support sections wear blue suits. We call them the Blues, and they're primarily made up of engineers, but we do have photographers, drivers, suppliers, and administrators, all who help represent the ground trades within the Royal Air Force. We've been profiling a blue at the start of each display. Today, it's Corporal Dave Morris. Now, Dave is one of our safety equipment fitters, so he's in charge of making sure that all the pilots' helmets, G-suits, life jackets are all serviceable for us to go flying with. Dave's actually here today. He's in the Red Arrows stand, which is down at the side of the arena, so go and say hello to Dave and actually wish him a very happy birthday. It's Dave's birthday today, so a big happy birthday to you, Dave. Well, back to the display now. What you're about to see is a demonstration of speed, agility and precision, which are key traits of the Royal Air Force, and it's the Red Arrows' role to showcase the excellence of our service. Our other roles include defence diplomacy worldwide, assisting in recruiting for the British military, and supporting British industry. We are very proud and honoured to represent the very best of British, both at home and overseas. Well, our aircraft have to undergo a series of modifications to convert them from standard Hawk aircraft into Red Arrows Hawk aircraft, specifically with the ability to produce smoke. 3 of our jets don't actually have the smoking capability. They're awaiting the modification program. And I believe, from what I've been told, Red 1 will be flying one of those jets today. So you'll see the display. Red 1's jet won't have any smoke, and I hope that explains why. I think we've got about a minute to go. I haven't been able to check in just yet. The terrain around here isn't allowing me to talk to Red 1 on the radio. But when I do, I'll let you know what type of display he's going to be flying. I've just heard from Red 1, he's going to be starting with a rolling display. I want to hear lots of clapping and cheering so that if it's loud enough, I'll transmit it to the pilots on the radio. I can just hear they've put the smoke on. So they're ready to start the display. I think it sounds as though they're on time. So everybody here ready to see the Red Arrows this afternoon? Oh, that's a good cheer. I'm sure we could do louder. Let's have a big round of applause then. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the Royal Air Force aerobatic team for 2013, the Red Arrows.
Now, holding the bank, now tightening. Short diamond, right.
Behind the trees there, Red 1 has called the team into short diamond formation as he enters the left-hand turn at around 400 miles an hour. When they appear from behind the trees, Reds 8 and 9 will have moved in to form the Red Arrows' famous Diamond 9 shape, as you can see there. Red 1 is squadron leader Jim Turner. It's his 2nd year leading the team, but he was a wingman with the Red Arrows from 2005 to 2007. You see Reds 4 and 5 roll back to form a shape called Apollo. Behind the trees, the team are moving into Eagle formation. This is aimed to depict the plan form of the American fighter jet, the F-15 Eagle. And they'll be appearing from behind the trees at 400 miles an hour in this Eagle formation to fly the Eagle roll.
And roll.
Now, boys and girls, I do know that as they go upside down, the pilots can see you waving here, so arms in the air, lots of waving. We fly the majority of our formations with the odd-numbered pilots on the left-hand side, and the even-numbered pilots fly on the right-hand side. Red 6 and 7, the synchro pair, fly directly behind the leader in line astern. On the bottom of the formation now is Red 4, Flight Lieutenant Martin Pert. It's Pert's second year with the team, and he's the team's executive officer. He's a former Hawk flying instructor and Hawk display pilot, and operationally he flew the Harrier GR9. The smoke goes off now as they formed another shape, this time of the iconic supersonic airliner. When they come left, some red, white and blue, and hopefully a big round of applause for the very best of British as they show you. This year is the 70th anniversary of Operation Chastise, which was the famous Dambusters raid carried out by 617 Squadron on the night of the 16th of May 1943. Those brave aircrews flew their 19 Lancaster bombers deep into enemy territory to drop their bouncing bombs and complete their mission. Out to the front now, behind the trees, the team are forming the shape of a Lancaster. And here we go, the smoke coming on to celebrate 70 years since the Dambusters. This is Lancaster. One of our pilots has completed a tour with the famous Dambusters squadron. Red 3, Flight Lieutenant Mark Lawson, is on the leader's left wing now, and it's his first year with the team. He flew his first tour in the Royal Air Force, flying the Tornado GR4 with 617 Squadron, where he flew over Iraq and Afghanistan, before transferring to 9 Squadron, again flying over Afghanistan, and also over Libya in 2011. The smoke's back on now behind the trees as they form another shape. This time it's our tightest shape. This is Apollo. The jets here are around 5 to 6 feet apart as they come and fly the Apollo roll.
And roll.
Another big wave, boys and girls. On the leader's right wing now is another of our first year pilots. That's Red 2, Flight Lieutenant Ollie Parr. Ollie's another former Tornado GR4 pilot, and he has completed a tour as a Hawk flying instructor at RAF Valley on Anglesey in North Wales, where we train our advanced flying students. 2 and 3 acknowledge the move as the smoke comes on. The 3 aircraft on each wing now drop back to form a new shape, this time Typhoon, which is aimed to depict the delta wing planform of the Royal Air Force's multi-role combat aircraft, the Eurofighter Typhoon. We now have 4 frontline squadrons of Typhoons whose primary duty it is to protect the airspace of the UK and the Falkland Islands. Coming in from the left now, this is Typhoon.
Coming left. Now. Holding the bank. Now. Tight. Smoking.
One of our pilots is a former Typhoon pilot. Red 9 is Flight Lieutenant Mike Child, and he's about to move to the very bottom of the formation. He's another former Hawk flying instructor and solo Hawk display pilot, and then he was posted to the Typhoon, where he flew on quick reaction alert duties, protecting the airspace of the UK and the Falkland Islands. In from the left-hand side now, the smoke will come on in Signet. In the middle of the left-hand wing as we look tail on is the last of our first-year pilots. That's Red 5, Flight Lieutenant Steve Morris. Steve is another former Hawk flying instructor, and he was posted to the Harrier GR9, unfortunately only spending a short time on the aircraft before it was taken out of service, and he transferred to the Tornado GR4, where he flew operationally over Libya in support of Operation Elemi in 2011. Smoke's back on now to form a new shape. This time it's Big Vixen. This is named after the 1960s naval fighter, the Sea Vixen. And in from our right-hand side, they fly the big Vixen roll.
Out. Hold it. Out. Easy. Smoke on. Go. And roll.
Red heart, 310 Well, that's the end of the first half of the Red Arrows display, ladies and gentlemen, where you've seen close formation with 9 aircraft flown in a rather dynamic fashion. Forming a shape called dagger just now behind the trees, and they're going to run in to start the second half of the display. Hopefully, they'll be above the trees and get your cameras ready for the detonator. With his smoke on to the right-hand side is Synchro Leader and Red 6, Flight Lieutenant Chris Linden-Smith. It's his third and final year with the team. He's another former Tornado GR4 pilot, and he has spent a tour as a Hawk flying instructor. On the right, he's chased down by Red 9, and if you look left, you'll see that with the smoke on his Red 7, he's chased down by Red 8. These 4 aircraft now descending to just 100 feet above these trees. They're closing at over 850 miles an hour. Get your cameras ready now for the amazing Jippo pass. Well, the Synchro pair leave their smoke on and turn away from us now at 6G, or 6 times the force of gravity, where everything in their bodies is now weighing 6 times more than normal. So those pilots work hard to counter the G-forces as they fly the Cyclone. Well, the Synchro pair disappear behind the trees. Look to your left, where you'll see Enid.
Synchro's going flat. Turn a little bit early, Enid. Go get down.
The wings of Enid drop down to form an inverted V-shape. And over from the right-hand side, soon you'll see Red 9. He's going to fly in between Enid's V. This is the Goose. You see Red 9 there using his red, white and blue smoke colours to draw a nice, colourful shape of smoke in the sky. Behind the trees now, for those that can see them, Red 6, 7 and 8. 7 and 8 roll around Red 6 in the vortex. Through the middle of the vortex there with white smoke is Red 8, Flight Lieutenant Ben Plank. Planky's in his 4th year with the Red Arrows. He's another former Hawk flying instructor and Harrier GR9 pilot. And last year he was the leader of the Synchro pair. Once again, put your eyes to Synchro. On the right, Red 6, and on the left, Red 7. Back down to 100 feet they fly to perform the double rolls. Red 6 gets very excitable on the radio, as you can hear by his shouting. Coming from behind the trees to our right-hand side will be Enid and 8 and 9. As the colour comes on, they'll fly the Revolution.
Colour from go. Let's rolling now.
Each of those 7 pilots there performing what's known as an aileron roll maneuver, which essentially is just a full left control column or stick inputs to roll the aircraft around its longitudinal axis. The key to that maneuver is getting all 7 jets doing exactly the same thing at exactly the same time. Now, cast your eyes to the left and right again for the Synchro pair. This time Red 6 is on our left and Red 7 is on our right. They're closing at 800 miles an hour. They're going to cross 3 times in opposing 360-degree 6G turns. This is the carousel. Notice how each of the pilots swaps his smoke colour at each of these 3 crosses. From behind the trees to the right, 45 now will be Enid. They're in a formation called Leaders Benefit.
And roll.
So they're coming up in Leaders Benefit formation. Here they are with some red and blue smoke. They're drawing a snake-like shape of smoke in the sky as they fly the Python.
And now, lights on. And roll.
You see each of those pilots turns his smoke white there. They're producing the smoke by injecting regular diesel fuel into the aircraft's 400-degree engine exhaust, and that causes it to vaporize. To get the red and blue colors, we simply add a dye to the diesel, and we can carry 5 minutes of white smoke and a minute each of red and blue in a specially modified container beneath each aircraft. Red 2 puts his smoke on now, since Red 1 doesn't have any smoke, and they're going to rejoin all 9 aircraft. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the Red Arrows here at the Bristol International Balloon Fiesta for this year. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I hope you've enjoyed listening. It's been a pleasure displaying for you. Looks like the weather's going to break. Hopefully some ballooning this afternoon if the wind drops.